Okay, first of all, your biggest takeaway from the new rankings last night.
It's just they continue to devalue everything west of the Mississippi. I mean, this has been going on for now, ever since they started the playoff committee. And it's kind of laughable what they're doing. I mean, Mississippi State being the highest ranked 3-loss team, did you know that they're the only team in the country that only plays 8 Power 5 games? They have 3 opponents that are Group of 5 and an FCS. They're through 3 Group of 5 teams. None of them have more than 5 wins. And so their best win is LSU the week before LSU got beat by Troy at home. Why is Mississippi State the highest ranked 3-loss team in the country? Well, so you can prop up Auburn, so you can prop up Alabama. That's why they're ranked where they're at. So they continue to cook the books. They're going to do it until this thing changes, and at some point it will. So I'm trying not to get too heated about it. But it's pretty clear that if you play in the Pac-12 and the Big 12, you're not going to be valued very high.
Okay, let's look at the college football playoff rankings. We'll put up these. This is what the committee said. Sammy put those up. And then let's put up Joel Klatt's rankings. So the committee has Bama, Miami, Clemson, and Oklahoma. You have Oklahoma, Bama, Miami, and Wisconsin. Let me push back on this.
Okay.
Who the hell's Miami beating?
Well, they haven't lost anybody, so that's better than losing to, let's say, a 7-loss Syracuse team. And I understand that Oklahoma has lost to somebody, but that team in Iowa State is pretty formidable. It's been in the top 25 several different weeks, and Oklahoma has more quality wins than anybody in the country, certainly anybody in the top 10. They also have the Heisman prohibitive favorite and the number 1 offense in the country. So that's why I put Oklahoma up there. I do mine basically on this basis. I'm not a huge resume guy. I want to say which team is going to win. If I play these 2 teams, who's going to win?
That's how I do it.
I think Oklahoma would beat anybody in the country right now.
I don't think you're wrong on that. They're averaging over 600 yards of offense.
And they do that whether it's a ranked opponent or an unranked opponent. I think they can score 45 points rolling out of bed. They put the brakes on themselves against TCU, put their offense in total park in the second half, and I just don't think that anyone's going to be able to score with them. If you look at the rest of that top 10, save for maybe Auburn offensively, who's hanging with the Sooners offensively? I mean, I'll wait, right? There's no offense that's going to sit there and go toe-to-toe with Oklahoma, even with Oklahoma's poor defense. I know they're not great. They're getting better in the back end of the season. But there's no offense in the country that can keep up with Baker Mayfield.
Okay, let's talk about this crotch-grabbing thing. Yeah. It's just outrageous. It probably doesn't bother you either.
No, listen, I hated it, right? Like, I thought it was inappropriate.
I was a quarterback. The only thing I grabbed was a beer after a big win.
I will tell you that what gets lost in this is that we are so driven towards the conversation around the star. What we fail to talk about is the fact that as a program, Kansas was totally classless.
Yeah.
Took a cheap shot at Mayfield. Their coach was grabbing his crotch towards Mayfield. Not David Beatty, the head coach, but an assistant coach on their staff. They wouldn't shake his hand. It's like, give me a break. The guy's a fiery guy. I'd say things like this are less of a deal to me and the flag plant than his arrest in the offseason, right? If I'm looking at this from a kind of like a what's the worst thing that he's done, I think the offseason arrest and trying to run away from the cops was obviously the worst, which you're seeing right here. It's brutal, and he gets tagged. I mean, listen.
What is he doing?
Recruit that guy, that tackled him, because there's been a lot of defenders that haven't been able to do that during the course of the season.
All right, is this your first Ohio State-Michigan game?
It is. I can't wait.
Oh, my God.
I cannot wait.
Okay, so Jim Harbaugh, we got a story comes out in the last 24 hours. He's going to sign a lifetime contract at Michigan. Okay, is he just doing that because he just lost to Wisconsin? Is he just doing that for recruiting so the NFL rumors don't hurt him when he walks into a house?
Yes, if this happens, and if there are teeth to this rumor, and if it actually goes down, this is 100% a recruiting deal. Because it's not about the money for Jim. Like, he's getting paid plenty. He's got a lengthy contract as it is, but this would be a flag in the ground for him to say, I'm not going anywhere. And all those teams that are out there recruiting against me by saying, I'm going to go to Indianapolis, or I'm going to go to whatever NFL job is up, Chicago, if Chicago comes knocking on the door. This is his way to tell recruits, I'm not leaving. And that's why you should, 1, come play for me, and 2, don't listen to those guys that are telling you that I'm going to leave every other year.
So you buy, he's staying.
I buy he's staying. I mean, I just talked to him this morning.
We'll do a timeout. We
do our conference calls.
Buried the lead there.
We do our conference calls. It was all about the game. I did not ask him about this.
Whoa. You're a journalist. Why not?
I am not a journalist. I'm an analyst. I was getting ready for the game, so I didn't ask him about the contract.
I consider you a big J journalist.
There's a difference between analyst and journalist.
What's the difference?
He's not trying to break information.
That's right.
He's trying to analyze the game.
Yeah, that's right. I was asking him about John O'Korn and
Snoozeville. Why don't you ask him about leaving to the Bears?
If he was trying to break stories, no coach would ever talk to him.
That's right. I got to protect those conversations so that I can get information that I can use during the course of the broadcast. But I can tell you that Jim Harbaugh, it feels to me like maybe not his whole life, but he's at Michigan for a while. Okay. He's here to turn it around. He's not here to dip his toe in, get paid a lot of money, kind of go wild on Twitter and take his team to Italy. He's here to win a championship at Michigan. And that's what his goal is. That's what his driving focus is. This is not another job to him. He walks by the Bo Schembechler statue every day, and that's who he played for. That's who he loved. Was almost a father figure. His dad coached with Bo Schembechler. This runs so much deeper than, hey, which job is open? I mean, he is a Michigan man. It's in his blood, and I believe that he's going to be there until he can win a championship or they go in a different direction.
Listen, I'm for that. I like college football. Okay, Chip Kelly. We consider Florida to be the better job.
See, I actually don't in a weird way. Florida's facilities are not very good. They historically, if you look at their program, they've only had, and listen, this is more success than UCLA has had. So I understand if someone wants to disagree with me, I get it. But they've only had success with two different coaches, Steve Spurrier and Urban Meyer.
Rest of them are just nothing.
Just very average.
McElwain, Ron Zook.
The whole pantheon of kind of their history. And think about it. Both of those guys had a lot of success before they got to Florida and after they left Florida.
So they were legends.
You can infer that it might have been more about those two guys than it ever was about the place.
Well, Ron Zook bombed, Muschamp bombed, McElwain didn't work, and the guy before Spurrier got him in trouble.
Yeah.
Wasn't it Galen Hall or something?
I believe so. Yeah. I can't think of it off the top of my head. Now, you could say, hey, UCLA's not won a national championship, and Florida has, at least in the recent vintage. I understand that. I get it. I will bring up just one aspect, and you talked about the Under Armour money being a plus for UCLA and a reason that they would dive wholeheartedly into kind of this search and trying to get a home run. And I've got two different thoughts on this. One is Chip is extremely close with Phil Knight.
Yes.
That's not just a working relationship. That is a friendship.
So you can't go to
deep friendship.
Well, but wait a minute. So Under Armour's a UCLA program.
That's right.
That's journalism there, Klatt.
Well, no, that's being an analyst. That's just looking at what's going on. So I'm just saying, I believe that's going to be a hurdle within these negotiations.
A hurdle? You just broke the story.
I mean, I don't know if Chip would do that to Phil.
Holy God, I didn't think about that. Can we have breaking news? This is a journalist right here,
but
America.
This is not news.
That's
right?
journalism.
I mean, it's just
breaking news.
It's not journalism. That's journalism.
That's not news.
Colin, you don't even like journalists. Don't
try
to make him into a journalist.
He is a journalist. You're the only journalist I will ever have a beer with. You and Feldman. The rest of them,
oh man,
wretches.
Now it may still go down, but I can tell you that's going to be a hurdle.
Oh, God, that was fantastic. Okay, Bama's losing this weekend. I honestly believe this.
Here's the thing. 8 of the top, no one's talking about this. 8 top 10 teams are on the road. Late in November.
More journalism. Notre Dame's on the road, aren't
Notre
they?
Dame's on the road. Miami is on the road. The only 2 teams that play at home are Auburn and I think it's Oklahoma against West Virginia.
You are right.
Everybody else is on the road. I'm telling you, a minimum of 2 of those teams are going down, probably more like 3.
College teams on the road are a different team.
A lot of them in rivalry games as well, so you can get that throw out the records type of aspect going. I think that the 2 teams that are most likely to get beat this weekend are Alabama and Notre Dame in their road games. I would not put it past Pitt to beat Miami. Remember now, Miami's played 3 straight games in the warm weather and great environments. Now they're going to go to an NFL stadium that's not going to be all that filled up, short week, and cold weather.
Low energy.
I'm just saying, they tend to play to the level of the environment and the team that they're playing. It wouldn't shock me at all if Pitt were to beat Miami this week. Plus, I've been dogging on the Canes all year long, so I'm not going to stop now.
The Cronkite of this generation.
Oh, jeez.
You delivered today. It was very good.
That's all just information that you could get on your own, just looking at it.
Well,
not breaking any news.
Hi, everybody, and thanks for watching. We want you to subscribe here, to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from the herd, or go watch a few segments from the newest show on FS1, First Things First, with Chris Carter and Nick Wright.